Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Alright, already, the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on.
So no matter what you've been through, no matter what you into, no matter what you see, when you look outside your window, brown grass or green grass, picket fence or barbed wire, never ever put them down. You just lift your arms higher, raise them till your arms tired. Let them know you there, that you struggling, surviving, that you gon' persevere. Yeah, ain't nobody leaving, nobody going home. Even if they turn the lights out, the show is going on.
Alright, already, the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so strong. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Alright, already, the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Goes on. Goes on. Goes on. I can lift you up. I can show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're safe and sound. I can fill your cup. You know my river won't evaporate. This world we still appreciate. You could be my luck. Even in a hurricane of frowns, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're safe and sound. We're safe and sound. We're safe and sound. I could show you love. In a tidal wave of mystery, you'll still be standing next to me. You could be my luck. Even if we're 6 feet underground, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're safe and sound. I could lift you up. I could show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. I could lift you up. I could show you what you wanna see and take you where you wanna be. You could be my luck. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound. We're 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 safe and
Baby, this is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time she moves, and everybody's watching her, but she's looking at you. You.
guys hear me? Hello. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. I was reading the chat and I saw everyone's here from hella different places. I love that. Beautiful. Hi, Rock on! So it's really beautiful to see you all. So here's what I did today, okay? For this webinar, because a lot of stuff that I wanted to explain, I was trying to think about how do I explain this without my whiteboard, and then how do I take this to my whiteboard? So I set up my phone over there. You can see this over there on top. It says whiteboard. That's my phone. When I am explaining the whole thing on the whiteboard, I will not be able to see your questions. So first half, I'm gonna give you guys an introduction over here, but then we're gonna go take it away at the whiteboard. Then I'll come back and we'll take questions, and then we'll end it with like a little bit of like activation. Forgot the word for it. Okay, amazing, amazing. All right, so breaking the broke code. All right, welcome to the experience. Um, Before we begin, I wanted to take like a few seconds for us to drop into our heart so that we can fall into like a state of presence, of wholeness, and open up our hearts to receive. Okay. And before we even do that, I want to give you one little note for today, okay? And my only note for you is this. As you listen to me tell you whatever it is that I'm going to tell you, okay? Um, all I want you to do is get out of the head, okay? So get out of like, Anna, I have a million questions for how do I get money tomorrow? I want you to get out of question mode and allow your unconscious, subconscious mind, your soul to receive what it's here to receive. Because whether if you listen to ask questions, you're gonna miss the answer. Because the probability is, oh, I can hear myself from there. Wait, can you guys hear an echo? Just let me know if my voice is echoing. Okay, period. I could just hear myself. But when we get out of question mode and we listen, we our heart receives. Okay. What the hell? Okay. Anyways, let's drop into the heart, okay? So all I want you to do is I want everyone to close their eyes just for a few seconds. Not unless you're driving. Don't close your eyes if you're driving. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And I want you to allow yourself to fully arrive in this moment. To fully trust that over here, while you're here, you will receive exactly what it is that you need to receive from this experience. That it is guided for you. That everything, your soul already has all the answers. That this moment is simply about coming to here and now. It doesn't matter what has happened in your day, in your life, in any moment before this. Just allow yourself to fully arrive to this moment in time because this is where the magic is. Okay, beautiful. You can open your eyes now. And I want to start off the webinar with just a little bit of my story because that's the reason, that's what inspired all of this to begin with. When I was a child, and maybe you might find resonance, you might find meaning, you might listen to me and go like, "Oh yeah, I've experienced that too." Because when I was a child, I always heard my parents talk about money either in a way like, oh my God, money is this big thing, right? Or that money was the enemy, that like it's almost horrible to be rich, that rich people are bad and all of that, right? So it was the idea that there's either never enough money to begin with, or having abundance is a bad thing, and it was pious to not have a lot of wealth, right? It was like some kind of like spiritual badge of honor to not be rich. And it was crazy because it wasn't even that they didn't have money, right? Like I grew up in a very comfortable financial household, but it was the way that they spoke about it, right? The way that the beliefs about money were very, very poor, right? So my dad would always be stressing about it and always talk about like how, you have to like, don't think of yourself as some rich person or whatever. We're not rich. We're not that. And I'd be like, honey, like we're living a life that's better than so many people. Like, we have every luxury we want. We have designer clothes and this and that. But he would be like, no, 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 like, it's good to think of yourself as you're poor or whatever, right? And so early on, I decided that I didn't want to be like them, right? And because my dad, he had like a different type of relationship with money that I knew I didn't want to embody. So I was like, I want to be financially abundant. I want to be independent. I want to make a lot of money because money to me became like this thing that, like, man, like, I don't want to be stressed out like that guy. I don't want to give people, shit for paying for stuff and this and that. So my solution is I'm gonna be super abundant, super rich. My dad is an incredible guy, by the way. I love him. This is about values. So I started working when I was 18, and I always saw this value in my dad that, like, the harder you work, the more successful you would be. So he would always talk about how in order to be successful, you have to work really hard and be visibly hard. Like people have to see you look exhausted. Like the more like burnout was this badge of honor. Like, oh, this guy has worked so hard that he's now pissed and stressed and this and that. And that's an honorable thing, right? So, I was like, I'm gonna, like, if I want to be rich, if I want to be successful, I have to work really, really hard. That having no work-life balance, that meant that you earned your income well, right? So when I came into the world, not just born, but when I started working and all of that, I attached my worth to how hard I worked, okay? And so and fast forward to when I started coaching, those values of like working really, really hard got like supercharged. So I never took it off. I used to work like 7 days a week, 15, 16 hours a day. I was completely exhausted, right? And I thought, oh, like, look at me hustling queen, whatever, right? Because it's such an honorable thing to do. Like, I'm doing such a good thing, blah, blah. And everyone would be like, oh, Anna has such a great work ethic. Anna's this, Anna's that. And I spent over $50,000 in coaching programs and marketing gurus and this and that. Like everything you name it, I had bought it. Okay. Because I wanted to find out what is the best way to run a business online. And someone would either give like, these pre-written funnels or whatever. Someone would be like, just use my sales script and you're gonna like, make money, whatever. Like different people just said like, oh, my process, my method, just apply it, and you're gonna like make so much money. And I was like, period. So like every time I would buy some shit, I would apply that shit. But still, like, it was just like I was like a hamster on a wheel, just trying new tricks. Okay. But I just got burnt out and I felt exhausted because I was killing my authenticity to fit someone else's box, someone else's blueprint of success. And underneath all of it, was the fact that I had made business and spirituality two different things. That business was not a place about, like, it wasn't about God, right? God in my head was someone you begged to, hope to, whatever. But like, God wasn't someone you collaborated with in business. And so 3 years spent like that absolutely broke my soul. And now in the past 4 months, I have completely changed the way that I do business, the way that I show up in my work, the way that I experience it. And I've made more money in 4 months than I did in 4 years. I've worked way lesser. I'm always like chilling, having fun, doing whatever. And I stopped idolizing money, but also underneath that were a lot of energetic codes that I broke. So this workshop, this webinar today is about breaking those broke codes. And I will walk you through exactly what all of it is, what pendulums are, what thought forms are, how our frequency, like we don't even know what is going on underneath what is going on. Like we're just consciously aware of some stuff and we see the problem, but we don't see the root cause of it all. And one of the conversations I was having with a friend of mine earlier today, I was like, the craziest thing is that we oh my God, I lost my point. Wait, um, it was something about God. I don't know. I lost my point. ADHD. Anyways, okay. So I'm gonna go on the whiteboard. All right, and I will mute myself from here. I will give me just like a second, and we're gonna start. We're gonna talk about. Oh, someone's raised their hand. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Let's see. Replace pen. Do you guys see whiteboard as like the spotlight thing? No, you don't. Okay, wait. If I okay, wait. Hello. Wait. Okay. Okay, you guys can hear me. Give me okay. Everyone can hear me. Let's see. You can see the whiteboard. Amazing. Let's do this. All right. Period. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, okay, is what is the broke code, okay? So I have like no idea what you guys are saying in the chat. So I'm gonna pretend this is a YouTube video, all right? Um, except I won't be cropping out, what do you call that? My cleaning. Okay. Shut up, Siri. All right. So So the bro code, okay, in essence, I want you to understand it as a living frequency, okay, like a collective pendulum. Now, in a moment, I'm going to explain what pendulums are, what thought forms are, but these two things are so freaking important for this whole conversation, okay? Because here's the thing. A lot of us think that being like, like not having money and like having money are just like, oh, it's a state of mind or like whatever, right? It's positive thinking, it's beliefs about wealth. No, it goes so much deeper than that. And when we don't recognize and understand the ways in which it is deeper, deeper, deeper than just a limiting belief, that's when we keep feeling like we're chasing and chasing some sort of answer, but like I don't get it. Like I don't get what the answer is. So what I want you to understand this as a living frequency, it's like a collective thought form, okay? So I want to talk about these two things, hustle culture and money trauma. We think that they're just like, ideas, like if it's just an idea, it will be easy to break through it, right? But these are actually living entities that feed off of your energy, and they are strong and they are vindictive and they need you to survive. And once you get all of this, you're going to understand like you need to understand this, okay? That the Broke code isn't just some poor belief about money. That's the first thing. It's not just some poor scarcity mindset, broke people thoughts, whatever, right? It is deeper than that. It is something that the collectively so many thousands, millions of people have sworn into it. And because they think from it, they perpetuate it. So every single person who thinks even like one broke thought gets connected to this entity. They get connected, and this entity already, since it's living, it has all these different thoughts. It has all these different whatever frequencies attached to it, different versions of thoughts. But before I go deeper into that, I'm gonna first talk about what are thought forms, okay, and then what are pendulums, okay, because those two words, like, you need to know that for the rest of this, okay. So let's start over here, okay. Freaking okay. Oh, period. Did you guys see that? How easily it happened? Yeah. I quantum leaped into a new timeline. Come on, God. Okay. Period. Words. All right. So let's first talk about what are thought forms. Okay. Ew. Where's my blue marker? I don't know. These are the struggles you don't see on my YouTube videos. Okay. So we're going to talk about. Okay. So wait, this is you, okay? Every time you have a thought, okay, you have a thought. Now your brain literally has like this little field around you, okay? And in this field, whatever thought you have gets collected, okay? So it gets stored in your field. I'm going to explain this in the easiest and simplest way, okay? So imagine every thought you have gets collected around you in like this bioelectric field of energy, okay? So these are information packets, okay? So even though you can't physically see a thought, in energy, every thought has an energy, and every thought you have collects around you, okay? And then the what makes this like where it goes deeper is that every like these thought forms, they are like, for example, let's say you have a thought that like, you know, I'm poor, okay? Now, this thought becomes its own energy entity. What does that mean? Is that this I'm poor then becomes like a radar, okay, for other similar thoughts. And for your RAS, I don't know if you remember this, but I talk about your RAS, which is your reticular activating system. But in easier words, your RAS is basically like a inner GPS, okay, inner AI. So your RAS will like notice like what to focus on, okay? From 11 million bits of information that are available to you, your RAS will pick and choose 40 bits of information to bring to your conscious awareness. So this thought form that is in, like it has its own energy identity, it will become a radar for similar thoughts. It will tell your RAS what to focus on outside you. So what is going on internally will then detect, like, you will then notice proof of what is in alignment with the thought that you had. And then number three, it is tied to your identity. So like I said, I'm poor is an identity statement. You start to define yourself as poor. You start to see your world as from the lens of I'm poor. Everything in your life becomes tied to I'm poor, and that's how you experience the world. When we say it's an energy information packet, here's another thing that I forgot to mention is that, or even that it has its independent energy entity, right? So for example, if you have a fear, right? Fear-based thought form, okay? Then that means that this fear-based controls you because it starts to run on autopilot. Whatever thought you have, whatever thought forms you have around you will become like this automatically self-fulfilling prophecies for you. Okay, so if it's fear-based, it will control you in the basis of fear. If and the good part is that because this is automatic, if you train it to serve you, for it to go from, for example, being fear-based to like you use your imagination, your imagination, your conviction, you use it over and over again diligently, then this serves you because it is neutral. It doesn't care whether what you feed it is good or bad. It's a neutral entity. It's a neutral mechanism. So thought forms, what are they? It's an energy information packet. Your thoughts collect around you. They tie to your identity and they work on autopilot, right? Give me a thumbs up if you get it. Let me come see if the thumbs up is there. Okay, period. I see your thumbs up. Okay, if you wait, do you guys have any questions so far? I can come and check. Tell me if you have any questions. Okay, period. I see a lot of thumbs up. So, another thing that's really important to know here is that repetition. Okay, repetition and your energy. When you give any thought repetition and your energy, it will then control the way that your RAS makes you see the world. Okay, now I'm going to talk about what are pendulums and then we're going to bring it all together. Okay, so let's clean this up. Let's separate it. I can lift you up. I show you how I want to do the dirt you wanna be. It's me. Okay. Safe and sound. I wish music automatically played while I was like cleaning the whiteboard. Like that would be so dope. That would be so dope. I swear, this is why I don't go to the gym because look at how much workout I'm doing. Okay. Mastered whiteboard cleaning. I think I should add this to my CV. Professional whiteboard cleaner. Okay. Now, think about it this way. Okay. Wait. Let's say, Thinking in scarcity is a pendulum. Okay. Now, what is a pendulum? It's any thought form that's made collective, meaning that let's say that, like it's pious to be broke. Okay. Let's say that. Or money doesn't grow on trees, any shit like that, right? This thought form, let's say person one has this thought, okay? Person two, same thought. Three also has this thought. Four, I can't stop, into 5 billion, okay? Let's say 5 million people have this thought that it is pious to be broke. Now, you know how in our lives, a lot of times in society, when we talk about our stories, when we talk about our childhood, there are a lot of things, a lot of beliefs that we all heard in some shape or form growing up. We all heard our parents say stuff like, if for example, it's that money doesn't grow on trees, right? We all learned some sort of limitation that was disguised as like a law of life or whatever. And when someone shares their story, a lot of people go like, wait, I had that same experience, right? I think that too. Any thought, be it positive or negative, that a lot of people think together becomes a pendulum. Okay, so when I say scarcity thinking is a pendulum, it means that there's millions of people that are connected to the same thought form. Now, here's where it goes even weirder, okay? Now, think about it. Like, there's like a lot of people connected to this pendulum, okay? All these people, this pendulum is alive, it's a living entity. Okay. It's a living, breathing entity energetically. All right. Now, this pendulum, in order for it to stay alive, it needs to feed off of all these people's energy. So this person, every time they think about scarcity, they are feeding the pendulum. They're giving it their energy. This person thinks about scarcity, it gives it. And your energy is the pendulum's oxygen. Okay, your energy is the oxygen for the pendulum. So every time all these people think these thoughts, they are literally like, serving the pendulum, and it grows and grows. Think about it like a monster, right? Like whatever. So it grows and grows and it sustains, it sustains. And here's the thing, a pendulum will always do an exchange. So, in exchange for your energy, what is it going to give you back? Any guesses? Wait, I can't see the chat. So, your guesses would just be, I don't know. But, like, in exchange, it gives you safety of the familiar. Okay. So, every time you feed the same pendulum, the exchange you get in return is that you feel safe. Why? Because your situation stays the same. The familiar makes you feel safe. You have the comfort of not going into unknown territory. That's how people keep believing the same thing over and over again. That's why people don't leave toxic relationships. Why? Because they're afraid of the unknown. They're afraid of the unfamiliar. They're like, wait, if I leave, what's going to happen? If I leave, like, I don't know what's going to happen. What if the next one's worse than this, right? And that thought, because it's been thought so many times, it makes it easier for them to stay thinking it, because it perpetuates it gives this pendulum energy, life, oxygen, and this person, as a result, feels safe. So that's the trade off, right? And that's what people mean when they talk about the matrix, this, that. So the hustle culture, thinking about money as never being enough, thinking about like how success has to come through hard work, how, like so many people we know, I know so many people who work tirelessly throughout the week, and on the weekends they're like, I need to drink, I need to do drugs so that I can feel like I'm living my life. What kind of life is that? Where you are working for, like, the moment they wake up, their brain is instantly in survival, right? Because why? Because money is like this they're subscribed to the pendulum. It might not be about scarcity, but think about it. Scarcity isn't just about the fact that, oh, I don't have enough money. It's about what? I don't have enough time. I'm so busy. I can't take rest. I can't have a day off. Everything will fall apart if I don't control it. I can't surrender. What do you mean? Are you crazy? All of these things combined form these pendulums that people are bought into and they live from, and they what you'll notice it in people's conversations. They're going to talk about this. They're going to be like, oh yeah, like, like the other day I met one of these like finance bros or whatever, right? And like, like the conversation was crazy. Like, this was a couple of weeks ago, but the conversation was like, all about like, oh yeah, like in corporate it's like, like, I was like, the hell? Like, homeboy was like, so what do you got planned for the day? I was like, I don't know. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like a work day. I was like, yeah, I got vibes, like I just, like, I'm gonna go swim or something. He's like, wait, don't you work? I was like, yeah, like when I want to, right? And he's like, that's so weird. And I was like, yeah, but I make more money than you. So I didn't say that, but you get the point, right? Is that like this hustle culture, this collective, like, oh yeah, like I outwork everybody else. And like, look at me, I'm so disciplined. Look at me, I'm this, I'm that. Is this thing that people just like brag to each other about. Like this friend of mine had this party for like so many people who they don't even like, and they're like, yeah, whatever, like, you see, like the inauthenticity isn't just in money, isn't just in business, but it's so much like this broke code is not just about money. Because remember, every problem is actually one problem. It is the frequency problem. It is when we have idolized and we have made creation our god. You've made maybe business your god. You've made maybe money your god. You've made maybe validation from the world your god, success your god, and whatever is in your heart, that is your god. And here's the thing, right? And like this is, I feel like, the biggest thing that ties it all together is, and even the fact that we think that making money is supposed to be hard, or it's not spiritual to have money, or whatever, all of that, right? Is that anything that's in your heart that is not God will make you suffer. So if you are attached to money that much that you feel like you need to, ruin your life for it, like people go, like literally, people go into bed rest and shit because of their burnout, because they don't know how to switch off. People spend decades of their lives like just hustling, and for what? Like, we deserve to live our lives and run our businesses and do all of that from a place of fulfillment, from a place of love, from a place of like shits and giggles, right? So the your heart is a place for God. And so this is not this broke code or whatever. To me, from my perspective, it is actually a disease of the soul. It is a disease of the heart. It is not about money. It's not about limiting beliefs. It is about the heart being corrupted by wrong priorities, right? And that, like, because it's like gravity, right? If I drop it, I'm gonna, like, it's gonna fall. There are no exceptions. But you're going to notice that the most fulfilled people in life, who are also mad abundant, are people whose work is just an expression of who they are. It's an extension of the love that they have for themselves, for God, for life. And they're just like celebrating life, and they're chilling and they're vibing, and like, and you can feel their energy. You can feel their authenticity. You can feel like their sales copy is not the same as 5 billion people. There's not this, they haven't copied it from, like, some guru who said, use my formula. In sales calls, you won't see these people show up as like, so what would you say is your biggest pain point? So I'm hearing your biggest pain point is hell. So anyways, coming back to pendulums, right? scarcity thinking, different beliefs about money, different beliefs about wealth. There are all these pendulums that people feed into. And this pendulum sustains itself through your attention, through your energy. Now, here's the dangerous part, okay? The part about what happens when you try to, so you know, like when one person tries to leave the matrix, okay? So this homeboy, all right, he's connected and then he has like a breakthrough, right? He has an aha moment. He's like, wait a minute. Oh my God. I don't think I want to subscribe to this anymore. So homie goes like, wait, wait, wait. I'm going to break out of this pendulum. I will rich and abundant and easy and happy life. And I will be free of scarcity thinking that all these people be thinking about. What happens to somebody like that? When someone breaks their connection to a pendulum. And this is the part, because what happens is the part that makes or breaks your shift, okay? Because this is the part that most people will go like, will freak out. Okay, because here's what happens when you break out of a pendulum, when you unsubscribe from this, like hustle and rise and grind shit, right? Rise and grind, like when you unsubscribe from all of that, what happens? This pendulum now has a personal vendetta against you. It is like personally out to get you because it goes like, how dare you? How dare you? I was feeding off of you. How dare you disobey, or whatever. Right. So now you sort of like piss off the pendulum. All right. So this pendulum goes like, oh, no, you didn't. Now it is out to get to you because it needs your energy. It needs your energy, and you just took away its drug. Think about it like a toxic ex, right? When you break up with a toxic ex, what happens? They will find funky, creative ways to come back into your life. They'll be like, and then, oh my God, I need water. Give me a second. Oh my throat holders. Okay. This is ironic. Okay. So now when you try to break out of this pendulum, where's the black marker? I need my little blacker marker. Wait, one sec. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So this pen, what the hell? I don't know what happened to my black markers. Okay. So, hustle culture, rise and grind, whatever. This pendulum is now pissed off. How dare you break out of my loop? How dare you take away my food, right? So it then tries to attack you. Okay. And it will attack you in different ways. It can attack you in where is it? Okay. So it can attack you mentally, right? Meaning that like first thing it'll try to like get to your head, get to, send more thoughts from it, send more similar thoughts to you. Like, these could be doubts, these could be fears, this could be anxiety, this could be, what if I'm wrong? Now, am I wrong? Thinking it. So you could be thinking, like, you could be having all these thoughts, right? And let's say you're like hella bent on like, you're like, ain't no way, honey. I'm not falling for your tricks, devil, whatever, right? So you don't pay heed to it. You use techniques, you meditate your way out of it. You stay in the present moment, you do all of that, and you're like, no, 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 you can't get to me because I'm doing the work. I broke out of the matrix, right? When it can't get to you mentally, okay? Here's what it's gonna do. It's gonna get to you in your real world. Okay. So it will then show itself, not like you won't know it's a pendulum, right? But what it's gonna do is you're out here thinking, la 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 la, good thoughts, positive, money is good, easy, whatever. This pendulum will send you bills. Your car broke down, your car is dead, and something else went wrong. Here's pay for this, pay for that, pay for this. And you have then two options. Option one, freak out, go back to this, or you stay present and aware. So then it will screw up your circumstances because it's not going to let you go easy, right? So then you might be like, wait, I just quantum leaped. What are all these problems or whatever, right? So your car breaks down, you lose your job, this happens, that happens, obstacles on obstacles, right? That look like obstacles. And then you're just almost like forced to either go back to your old thoughts where it's like, you're really like tested, right? Because I'll tell you my own story. So last year was when I broke up with my pendulums. And when I broke up with my pendulums, I walked away from an entire, business I had built of 9 people. I walked away from what you call that, the other business I had with my friend, every single freaking thing, thousands and thousands of dollars I'd invested. I was like, no, whatever, like I'm out, right? And I go and I had like, I was $25,000 in debt. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to pay any of this? Right. And the inspiration I got was to literally do nothing, like go and surrender and go heal your crap. Okay. So I'm like, what do you mean heal my shit right now? I got to pay for these debts, these bills, this. And people were texting me. They were like, on my butt about it. They're like, no, like, where's my money? And I'm like, I don't have it, right? So, anyways, because I felt like it was irresponsible to go heal and like fix my inner world while I had money like to pay people, right? Anyways, I go take those 14 days off and all of that, and I really like heal my shadows and whatnot. And then 14 days later, I had like twice the bills to pay. I felt pretty fly like a G6. Okay. Like I felt like I haven't breathed in so long, right? Like I felt like my nervous system was fully like alive, awake, rested, but like instantly reality just like slapped my face. And I was like, wait, what am I supposed to do now? Right. But that was the moment where I had a choice to either go back to the pendulum or keep like stay lead with my heart, continue to lead with my heart. And I did. I led with my heart. But that entire year, I went like up and down in terms of like not in terms of scarcity, but in terms of energy. So I would have sometimes days where it would be like, I don't know what my purpose is anymore. I think I'm depressed. So I went from like literally being like so enthusiastic about what to do, what to do, what to do, what to do. But turns out all of this was like tied to my worthiness. Okay. So when I healed my worthiness wound, when I started to feel worthy without my accomplishments, and I broke up with the pendulum that fed my worthiness. So for example, there is a pendulum, there is no space on the whiteboard anymore. Wait, let me clean this up. This whiteboard is what it's like in my head, I feel. Or worse. Like I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So you look into I'm gonna okay. So think about the high achievers pendulum, okay? Which is basically worthiness is earned by what your achievement. Okay. So there's a lot of people out there who believe this, that worthiness is um, earned through your achievements, right? So all these people connected to this. This is the pendulum I broke up with. And I was like, nope, I am worthy. I am full. And I am all that, right? And because I was no longer working to feed my worthiness, I felt like I had no purpose. I literally had this entire month or two where I felt like I remember I was sitting on the sofa talking to my mom and I was like, I feel like I'm ready to die. Like in the most non-suicidal way. Like, in the most respectful way. Like I'm not depressed, but I feel like I'm done, like I'm done creating. I've served my purpose. I wrote a book. I did this. I feel like I'm done. Like I'm ready to die. Like God could take my life tomorrow and I'll be happy. And she's like, are you okay? Because when you break up with a pendulum, you also break up with the familiar energy, right? So now your nervous system does not yet know how to code its way into a new reality, into a new pendulum, right? Because just like there are like pendulums that feed off your energy in a negative way, there are also good pendulums, right? So for example, it's easy to get paid to exist. Now, when you're connected to this one, what happens? You get all the thoughts that are on this radio station. And then you start to live from this self concept. And then inspiration comes easily, and this and that, and this and that. And that's what thought forms are. That's what pendulums are. Okay. Does everyone get it so far? I'm going to go come check the chat to see if you have any questions. And then we're going to go forward. Okay. Let's do this. Also, I need some water. Okay. Do you guys have any questions so far? I just see a thumbs up. Um, I'm thinking of the big blob monsters. Exactly, that is how they are. Mental illness is a pendulum, period. Anything else? How to break out of, oh yeah, well that's the next part is I'm going to talk about um how to disconnect. Okay, let's talk about this, okay? Now, here's the other part of this. Let me just erase this and we'll go to how do we break free from pendulums, right? Okay. So we need to understand before we even talk about how do we break free from these, that the broke code, right? Scarcity around money, the hustle culture, all of these were things that you adopted because of what you learned. Like these are not laws of life. This is not the truth. This is just something that you happen to become accustomed to because that's what the people around you taught you. I feel like I need to wash this, but I'm not gonna do it. Not right now, I mean. Okay. Because here's what I want you to get, right? Is that these pendulums, they're not yours to carry. These thought forms are not yours to live by. This broke code is not it's something you inherited, but it's not yours. And all these ideas about how money is hard to make hustle, like you have to hustle to like succeed or whatever, whatever. All of that is rooted in fear and scarcity and manipulation and robbing you of your power. Because think about it, like when you believe like your whole life, your whole life is like gone, or, your whole life you spend it simply just trying to make it, right? If your whole life you just spend trying to survive, your whole life all you're doing is chasing money, because there's never enough and you need it to to get a house, to get a car, to get this, get that, whatever, whatever. You're so wrapped up in your own world that like this is you, right? This is you, and like this is your world of problems, right? So this includes like bills and house, car, and rent and tuition, whatever, XYZ. All you are so wrapped up in this that you never get to have the energy to do something bigger. You never have the energy to do something for someone, something greater than your own cause. If you are always wrapped up in trying to survive, how will you serve humanity at large? How will you do anything to benefit the world if all you can think about is your next paycheck, your next rent, your hospital bill, your this, your that? Do you think it's a coincidence that so many people are stuck in these problems while the leaders, quote unquote, of the world are like living it up lavishly? Because when one person breaks out and a million people break out, imagine a million people awake to their power, a million people living in abundance, a million people living lives where they're so connected to source, so connected to their audacity, so connected to how easy life gets to be. What are they doing when their bills are paid, when they get paid to exist, when everything they're doing in terms of their work is an expression of their love, isn't like, it's additional? What happens? All those millions of people now have the energy to create change in the world. And that is scary for for leaders who don't have your best interest at heart. That's scary for leaders who thrive off feeding pain, fear to people, manipulating people to stay in their houses. It's so scary. The world is a scary little place. Like, this is beyond money. This is beyond money. This is about our entire lives, about how media, the news, it feeds scarcity into people, fear into people. There's such a huge disproportion of wealth in the world. And people think they don't have a choice because they're conditioned that way. So this is not just about you making money or getting rich or whatever for yourself. It is for a greater cause. It is so that you get out of your own head, out of feeding your own desires, your own problems. Ascend from that so that you're able to make a bigger difference in the world. You're actually able to do what you were put here to do, which is to be a khalifa on earth, a leader on earth. How can you lead anyone if you can't lead yourself in your own life? And that's the purpose of us remembering how easy it was always meant to be, how easy abundance is. It is your birthright, damn it. You never had to fight for it. You never had to stress yourself out for it. And when we do, we go against the law of life. And what happens? People get depressed, they get burnt out. What is burnout? It is your soul screaming at you, telling you that, well, what are you doing, bro? Slow down. People get cancer, they get different diseases because of a disease in the heart and the soul, because they don't know how to slow down. If you can't slow down physically, whether it's physically slowing down or mentally slowing down, what does it all come back to? It all comes to living with God consciousness. I truly believe that the biggest thing in business is to bring God back in business. Because when you bring God back in business, you realize one big thing is that the how your success is not your job. That is not part of your job description. And this isn't, like one specific God of one specific religion. This is one God for every person in the world. No, it doesn't matter. Like, this isn't about religion or whatever. It's about realizing that spirituality doesn't need a religion. We all know that there's one God, and that God is the doer of everything. So when we approach our business from a place of I do not need my logic to succeed, when we go from being self-conscious to God conscious, you realize that like that changed my entire life, the entire way I approach business, because I realized like when I was self-conscious, everything I did was to perform, was to gain something, was to gain either validation from people. Like I was telling my friends, shortly before this webinar, I was talking to a few friends of mine, and I was like, what's crazy is like, if 2 years ago I had like my YouTube blow up or my Instagram or whatever, like, my content was doing well, it would like give me some sense of like accomplishment, right? I would feel so validated. And now I look at it and I'm like, cool, like, because that to me is not like has nothing to do with my worth. Everything I do is an end of itself. This to me, what I'm doing here, like I feel so alive, so happy. I could be doing this for 10 hours straight. I swear. Just need more water. Good to go. Point is that when we stop performing, when everything we do is from love, for love, through love, we become this magnet. We experience ease and abundance in our lives, and that's the way to make money. You need to like learn to unlearn everything other people have taught you about business, because that is not your truth. Every person has like a unique little signature inside them, right? A signature of their gift, their voice, their whatever. Imagine like I rob you of this voice, this gift, because I tell you that no, if you want to be successful, you have to follow my method to succeed, my sales funnel to succeed. If you're not being authentic, what are you selling? How are you serving? You don't have any integrity. You don't, what sets you apart? And that feels soul abandoning, especially to people who know that they have a gift to share. They don't want to be. So I've noticed like that's why all those strategies I bought, they worked for a lot of other coaches. They never worked for me. Why? Because God wanted to show me that your raw voice, your unfiltered self is your gift. Why are you hiding it? Right? So yeah. So, so I was about to talk about how um you break out of a pendulum. Okay. Coming back to the last part of this, which is how to break out of a pendulum. Pendulums. Okay. Okay, homie has absorbed. Okay. Oh. Step number 1. Uno, dos, tres. Okay. Okay. So, so okay. The first step to break out of a pendulum is what to become aware of it. All right. A lot of people, they are hyper identified with the thought. They think that, like, I'm the thought. Okay. You have to see yourself as separate from the thought. Okay. So you see this thought form and you become the observer. You're like, wait a minute, I can, um this isn't me. I'm aware of the thought. I'm aware that this is a thought form from the collective. So, for example, you're in a situation, right? A bill comes in, your bank account is showing like negative $5,000 or whatever, and you're just like, ah, shit, like, how am I supposed to pay? The first thought might be, oh my God, like, I never have enough money. Everything's so hard. Money is so hard. I have to like figure it out. I have to control blah blah. All of that shit. Firstly, recognize it's not mine. Become aware. This isn't me. So you go like, the sneaky little bee. You go like, okay, I'm aware that that's a thought. You feel this distance, okay? A little, I'll give you a quick habit for it, okay? The way I do it, I get a candle. I don't have a candle. I do, but it's, I don't know. Imagine this is a candle, right? I'll look at the candle, light up the candle. I'll imagine that this thought or whatever is the candle flame, and I'm here. So I'm looking at the flame and I can see the thought, like, sort of, I visualize the thought like hovering in the flame around in front of me. And then while I meditate on this, I, like, become aware that this thought is from the collective, it's not mine. Okay. And then I will blow out the fire. And I'm like, okay, if it's not mine, then I don't need to give it energy. It's like, because you externalize it, it's no longer just over here. You externalize it, so you do that. Okay. The second is starving it. Okay, this is mad important because the pendulum, when this thought form of a pendulum is coming at you, it's gonna come like it's coming in hot like that, right? So it's gonna like really try to like grab your attention from every possible way. So you have to like refuse to look at it. Like literally be like, if the thought is like over here, right? It's like, hey, you Google like you literally just turn away. You're like, no, I'm not listening to that. I'm not listening to. And this is hard. Okay, I swear, like this is hard. I'm gonna be so for real with you. It is hard to starve it because you're so familiar with thinking that way, right? But it's not impossible. Nobody said it was impossible, right? So you gotta like cold. And I'll tell you a way that you can combine two, three, four. All right. We can combine this. Combine like the champ. I don't know why I said that. Okay. So you start it, you replace it with a new thought form, and then you charge the new thought form. Okay. So here's a practical way to do this. All right. So let's say that again, like the bill comes in, it's due in like 2 weeks or whatever. And every time you open your bank account, it like, directly like lunges you. Like you have like a um H lightning fast connection to the thought form. Why was I about to say HD? So like what you're gonna do here instead, okay? This is a practical way to do this, okay? A practical way to starve it, disconnect from it, and change your external reality, all right? You're going to close the bill, and for the next 1 week, let's say, you will not look at your bank account. For the next 1 week, any person, any notification you have on your phone that reminds you of not having money or whatever, you delete it. Literally, you archive it, delete it, turn your phone off if you need to. Literally take off every evidence from the 3D. And when you are addicted to constantly seeing that, it will feel hard. It will feel like you're in rehab, but you are. Like, that's the point, right? And then I want you to either take a journal or like a phone, whatever, wherever you will not like get into that headspace again or whatever, right? You don't have those triggers or whatever, right? And then all you're going to do for the next 7 days is literally write your self concept over and over again. Write what is normal for you over and over again. Write what type of results are normal for you. What type of person are you? How does God make the world move for you over and over again throughout the freaking day? That's all you're doing is you are flooding your mind your energy with a new thought form. And here's what you're going to notice: the first few sentences may actually feel a little bit hard to write, to type, to come up with. But here's what happens: like, as you keep doing it, like, as you get past like 5, 10 statements or whatever, they're going to come very naturally. And this is easier for people who find it hard to meditate. Like, if you're someone who finds it hard to meditate with your eyes closed at home, you're like, okay, I'm thinking about a Porsche, then this is this is like sort of like an open eye meditation, because you go into trance, right? Because you are like, and walk while you're doing this. So you're walking, you're writing, you're typing, whatever, whatever, and you get fully immersed in the experience. And you will not get up until every part of you feels like it is vibrating at this frequency. And you do this and only this for the next 7 days. That's it. You will literally notice your financials, like money will come out of nowhere. Because whatever you convict in, whatever exists over here and in your energy over and over and over and over and over again, is what is created in your 3D, is what is manifested in your 3D. And by starving your senses, you are starving your addiction to the old thought form and pendulum, whatever. So then you give yourself this space to disconnect from the how. Because while you're doing this like conviction type shit, right? You are not like, you're not obsessing over the how of it. You're not obsessing over logically, I need to take step A, B, C, D, nothing. You're just like, period. Like, that's what it is, you know? Like, that's what it is. Like, this is who I am. I don't need evidence to validate this knowing. That's the biggest advice I'm gonna give you, is that stop looking for evidence. The moment you can starve all evidential need for a week, to the point that by the end of the week, you know that you are, like, for sure that person, that's when you're going to manifest whatever outcome it is. That's when you break the broke code. That's when you become a magnet for abundance, because you don't need the 3D to validate your knowing. You validated it so much, so much, so much that you now move as it. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you on the whiteboard. Um, I'm going to come back over there. We're going to do a few questions. And then I will tell you one final piece that, to me, like, keeps it all together. We'll do like a short little activation meditation and we'll call it a day. Okay. Just give me 1 second to come back. Um, okay. The hell? Oh, wait. I was hearing myself. So, do you guys have any questions so far from everything I shared? Oh, we have 4 questions in the Q&A. How to break the momentum. Can you explain a little about business or money a god? How do I feel worthy because I exist? How to feel deserving and worthy of my desires. The healing process seems to be endless only because when 3D is not conformed, I'm told there's more healing to do. Who tells you that? Because their relationship with, because money is a neutral thing. It will not, like, money doesn't care whether you're a good or bad person. It just cares whether you have good or bad thoughts about money. Like, if those people, let's say, like, they know that they're powerful, they know they're abundant, they know money is easy for them to have. Alas, money will come to them. Money doesn't care whether you're like about your moral compass, to be very fair with you. Um, so let's talk about. Wait, I need to turn, let me turn the whiteboard off because That voice is annoying me. Leave. Okay. All right. Nars. So I want to talk about this question someone asked, which is that, right. Can you explain a little on what you mean by making business or money a god? Okay. Now, what I want to talk about in terms of this is, oh, those are a lot of questions. Okay, wait. All right. So first, we're going to talk about, anything being a god in your life. Okay. What does it mean for money or business to be a god, right? We think that worshiping a god or worshiping an idol or whatever is about, like, oh, I'm prostrating to it or whatever. But anything that you think has power over you, anything that you feel controlled by, anything that you are constantly thinking about, dreaming about, being stressed about, loving, and, like literally worshiping, literally idolizing that I need this to feel happy, I need this to feel fulfilled, I need this to feel whole, that becomes your God, okay? And the heart has one throne and it was never meant for money. And that's why it hurts when you're broke. There's a reason why chasing money feels like chasing wind. The faster you run, the further it slips. Because the heart is a sacred place. It's a divine vessel. It's a throne meant only for God. But what happens with most of us is that we crown money instead. We obsess over money. We fear not having money. We base our worth on money. We make decisions for money, because of money, in worship of money. And here's the universal truth nobody wants to say out loud. Whatever you place on the throne of your heart becomes your God. And if that God is anything other than God, the one, you will suffer through it. It's not punishment, it's the law. Just like gravity pulls you to the ground, the soul collapses when it orbits around a false center. Your system was not designed to revolve around a number in your bank account. But what happens with a lot of people? They're so obsessed over the number in their bank account. They need it to feel worthy, feel good enough. So that's your soul worshiping. Yes, there will be a replay. You'll find it in the live stream section of my YouTube, right? Because I feel like this, like, um, you know, it, our soul was designed to orbit divine truth. So when money takes that throne, the nervous system goes into survival, the body tenses, the joy fades, peace fractures, decisions get distorted, relationships turn transactional. Every win tastes hollow because your God is always hungry for more. It's not about money being bad. I want that to be so clear. Money is not bad. Money is not evil. Having wealth is not, like an evil thing or whatever. In fact, being wealthy is actually a very spiritual thing. But money becomes sacred when God is centered. Money is meant to be in the bank, not in the heart. When your heart is filled with divine love, is guided by like divine guidance, you're like connected to your intuition, connected to source, money worships you when you have good beliefs about it. The moment you treat money like a source instead of a resource, the moment you worship the provision instead of the provider, you enter the frequency of lack, attachment, addiction, fear. And fear is the language of false God. Because think about it. People think that, like, it's the difference between, money can solve my problems versus God will solve my problems. God can solve your problems with money, without money, against money. And when godlessness enters the heart, we suffer through money or whatever it is that is in the heart. Money is a resource, it is a creation. It's a way, it's a veil for God's command. God helps you, sustains you, does everything for you, and money can be a vessel for it. If you think, oh my God, if I lose my job, my life is over. Where is your trust, your faith, your conviction? You think that your life will be over because some dude in a bank fired you? That's what it means to have money in the heart as a God. Because fear, like I said, is the language of false gods. What is God's law? The heart will mirror its God. If money sits on your throne, you will suffer through money. If a person sits on your throne, you will suffer through them. What happens when people center their entire lives around one person? If I don't get this person, my life will be over. And that person will always treat them like dirt. Whatever you get attached to, other than God, that's what you suffer through. If success sits on your throne, you suffer through your work. That's what it means by the law of detachment. Why do they say like detachment? Detachment is detach yourself, detach this, detach that. What is detachment? It is God's law. It means that you take away the love, the desire, the idolizing of these things that you needed to feel worthy, and you remember that God honored you with worthiness the moment you were placed on earth, and you worship him. Worship can look so different, whatever your worship is, but worship means remembrance. God consciousness means remembering who's the doer of everything. Why do we suffer when anything else is on the throne of heart? Because what's in your heart rules you. And when the ruler is not all knowing, all powerful, unconditionally loving, what happens? The kingdom within you crumble. God doesn't punish you for worshiping money. Get that? He steps back because he doesn't compete. He's not here to prove to you who's God. He says, okay, you chose your king. Let money protect you now. And how many people in the world suffer, even though they have all the wealth in the world, they don't have peace. What people want, what the world wants is not money. People don't want money. They want peace. They want freedom. Freedom can't come when there's a false God in the throne of your heart. Money can't protect you. It can't hold you through heartbreak. It can't protect you from death. It can't quiet your thoughts at night. It can't lead you to peace. It can't redeem you when you fall. It can't resurrect the light in your soul. Only God can do that because only He belongs in the throne. Money is a means, it is a resource, provision, not provider. And that's why when you change the way that your relationship with wealth and abundance and all of that, when you stop worshiping money, you worship God and you treat money like a neutral thing, a neutral resource. And you know that when you have a good relationship with God in your heart, you know that He's made it happen for me. He makes abundance easy for me. He gives the idea to me. I just have to take aligned action. I just have to follow the whisper in my heart, and He's made a way for me. That's what blind faith is. And He does. Because you weren't created and put on earth to just run like a hamster, chasing, different false gods. You remember to know who you are. Knowing who you are also means knowing the creator, the one who honored you, elevated you in ranks. And he always, like, one of the things that we hear in every religion is what? Be humble, don't be arrogant, have a good character. And think about this. You don't tell a poor person to have humility. You don't tell a poor person to, not to be arrogant. That means that you were born rich. You were made, like, you were meant to be abundant. That's your birthright. That's why you're told that, hey, don't be arrogant, bro. Because if you were born poor, if it was a spiritual, holy thing or whatever to be poor, then that advice would never be there. But the advice is what? In every religion. It's to have humility. So the purpose, the intention, the way forward is what? It is to heal the heart. We break the broke code when we evict the false gods from our heart. Real healing isn't just mindset shifts, it is heart realignment. You must remove money from the throne and recenter the heart on God, not as a concept intellectually, but as the only source, the only doer, the only one who writes your sustenance, the only power worth your full submission. When God is enthroned, money becomes magnetized, it becomes light, it becomes a servant. Money is meant to serve you, not for you to serve it. And your life becomes sacred again. You get your joy back, you get your peace back. You go, like, do whatever you want. You live a life of ease, man. You stop, like, living in survival. And I say this with so much love and so much knowing because for years of my life, I was so deep in survival. And I'm like, the moment I took dethroned all these false gods that I didn't even know I was worshiping, I stopped chasing the numbers on my, like social media. I stopped chasing the wins and this and that and the trophy and the money. I said, God, everything's through you. I'm just a vessel. I'm just an agent. I'm just here to, like reflect the light you've given me. Intention is everything, especially in business, but in everything in life. So whatever your business is, whatever your idea is, you go like, wait, I'm doing this as a service in the world, whatever it is. You get off on your joy for it, and then your trust in the fact that if God gave you the desire, He didn't do it to, like, leave you high and dry. Your mind will only, like, it's a record of the past. It can only think about so many solutions to your problem. So if you have a bill coming up like in a week and you have no idea how you're going to pay for it, that's the moment of pure blind faith where you go like, God, I can't see. I don't know how, but I trust that you've got me. And you surrender. You stop thinking about it. You stop worrying about it. You stop trying to control how it happens. And I promise you, I swear, like this thing, I've done this in so many ways throughout my life. Before I fully embodied surrender, there were moments when like my back was against the wall and there was no way out. And I would be like crying myself to sleep and I would just whisper, I'd be like, God, I don't know how to figure this one out. Please take care of it. And the next morning, something crazy would have happened. Like I could have never imagined. And it's taken care of. That's what it's all about. That's what it's about, man. Wow, like I feel like I really zoned out there. But yeah, so another thing before we go into the activation, I want to share like a little thing with you guys, which is that I designed a 8-week experience. It is called the God Coded Business. For anyone who has a business and they want to, like, learn the energetics of wealth, of building and sustaining a God coded business, of leading in business from your heart, your soul, and making money be like a byproduct of your joy. This experience is for you. I'm just going to put the link in the chat so you can, after this, and I'm also going to send it in your email. But after this, I would love for you to check it out. If this feels like something that's for you, if whether you have a business, want to start a business, and like you don't have an idea yet, but you feel like, yeah, like I feel like I want to, do something about a business or whatever, right? So there's like a whole, yes, for those who want to say, okay, can I give you guys a spoiler? Um, so in these 8 weeks, right? I'm intending, like I just got like yesterday or the day before or something, I got this idea, inspiration that perhaps this will lead to a retreat in person in Bali. So we're gonna have these 8 weeks of like where you will be coming up with a business idea. Maybe you have a business and you completely let that go and started something new. this was me this year, where I left everything I built before this, and it was like a whole new thing God inspired me to. But I will teach you how to, like channel that light in your own soul, in your own work, how to build a business that is inspired and, listen to the whispers, because every experience I've created, from the webinars to the, like my quantum code, timeline death challenge, this, that, everything was nothing planned. Like it was just me sitting, chilling, reading a book, and like there was this like idea, right? Like it was like, ah, that could be a thing. And I would just start writing, and this whole entire program would come about, right? So I will teach you exactly how to do that, how to get in that state, how I sustain that state, how money becomes a byproduct of your joy, of your love. And then in Bali, maybe we're going to be launching together, and then we're going to be the next 4 days we're just going to be raising our frequency, our consciousness, and all of that, and have money be a byproduct of us living, not us working. Okay, so that's just a little like, oh, I'm super excited about that. But if that feels something you're called to do, called to check that out. We start like mid-August type. And before that, you're going to also, once you sign up, get a free seat in my timeline debt challenge, which I'm also going to put the link over here, which is 14 days of healing your nervous system. Okay. So the purpose of the timeline debt challenge is for you to, like 14 days, we're clearing the energy field, the pendulums, the thought forms, all of that. And the reason why this will be gifted like as a free thing for the God coded business thing is because your nervous system needs to be cleared out before you build a business, right? And oh, by the way, for both of these things, if you want to just be in the timeline debt challenge, wait, use a discount code for both of these. It's called 10K. You get a crazy discount for the next 48 hours on both timeline debt. I think it'll be like I don't know, I want to say 99 or $100 or something, and the God coded business will be $888 for the, and you have like installment plans and stuff like that as well. Anyways, that is just, if you want to check it out, go ahead. Now we're going to do a quick little activation. And if I know I did not get to a lot of questions here, so I will, if you have a question and you feel like I didn't answer it, do send me an email about it, okay? Let's take like a second, a minute to get some water. And I'm going to be back in a minute, and then we'll do like a quick meditation, okay? Okay. Just needed some water. What's the difference between God code business and the timeline? The God coded business is like an 8-week container to where I teach you everything about how to run a business as someone who's spiritual with God. And I have a video on the landing page where I walk you through the entire experience. The timeline debt challenge is a 14-day challenge where we rewire your nervous system. Okay. So your nervous system is attached to all those pendulums I talked about, right? They've latched onto your nervous system, those thought forms, they exist in your field. So 14 days we will be clearing shadows, doing inner child work, healing those frequencies so that your nervous system like relaxes, right? And it comes to a place of like safety, so that when you build a business, it's from a place of wholeness and not scarcity, right? That's the difference. That's why when you get the God coded business, you get timeline debt challenge free because I need everybody to have done that, right? Now, let me just play some tunes and we will start our activation. Mm, okay. Wait, is my computer sound? Yeah. Okay. This is just like a centering love, abundance type thing. Okay. Okay. The retreat will be for people in the God coded business. So the retreat is just for people who are in that container. Only they will have like the access to the retreat because that's where we celebrate, we get together, and then we launch live and see in real time how easy money gets to be. I'm so excited about it. Okay, but next year I might do a retreat for everybody, right? But this just felt like, thing. Okay, all right, let's close our eyes. I know I'm excited. All right. Can you guys hear the music? I can't hear it. No, got it. Okay, wait. Okay, can you hear it now? Okay, period. All right, let's do this. All right, I want everybody hands off the keyboard, eyes closed. Take a deep breath in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. In this moment, all I want you to become aware of, all I want you to remember, all I want you to allow your heart to beat to is the awareness of your breath, the awareness of this moment and how expansive and magical it is, the awareness that your heart was given to you as a gift by God, that you never had to do anything to earn it. And it beats in abundance, just like you breathe in abundance. Because abundance has always been your birthright. It has always been your home. You were never put on this earth to live in scarcity, to survive from day to day. You were honored as a being and a beam of light. That a lot of times we get so caught up in these narratives, these stories about that tell us to have fear, to close our hearts, to lead with the mind, that we get out of touch with this beautiful vessel. Because when you lead from your heart, you lead with God. When you lead from love, you lead from expansiveness, you lead from light. You see the creation, but you notice the creator. And when you do that, when your ecstasy becomes the knowing of God, the comfort of that knowing, the expansiveness of that knowing, the limitlessness, the infinite capacity, you realize that bliss was always the state of being you were meant to be in. To suffer was never your purpose. And maybe in this moment, you can simply give yourself the permission to break up with those narratives, with those pendulums, with those energy bodies that ever taught you that you were never enough. And notice that the beating heart, your beating heart, is a reminder of your worthiness. It is proof of your worthiness. I want you to imagine this beautiful ball of energy, any color you like, a ball of energy that is floating right in front of your heart. I want you to put both of your hands out in front of you and imagine that this ball of energy is between your palms. Whatever color it is an energy of love, of abundance, of light, of ease, of surrender. And all I want you to do is watch this ball of energy grow between your palms. Watch it grow bigger and bigger and bigger until this ball of energy can no longer be contained between your palms. And I want you to imagine it is so big that it literally circles you. It starts to glow all around you, with you in the middle of it, with every cell in your body now beating to this rhythm, this knowing, this energy of surrender, of worthiness, of love, of abundance, noticing it cleanse every inch of you, every cell of you, every part of you, every thought of you. It cleanses you, it rejuvenates you, it heals you, it reminds you of your true nature. And I want you to imagine this ball of energy spread from you to the room that you're in. Feeling this energy spread all the way around you. Feeling this energy become your home, your baseline, your reminder of God, of what it is when you move with God, of how ease is just a byproduct, how everything happens so effortlessly. And I want you to imagine yourself sending this energy of love to every single person in this webinar right now. Imagine them feeling and activating this code in them, activating the code of abundance, of surrender, of joy. Imagine them healing in this moment. Imagine them being their highest version in this moment. Imagine their problems disappearing, their false gods collapsing, and their hearts returning to oneness. Imagine their life becoming more colorful. Imagine your own life. Hold space for this love for yourself and all those here in this moment in time, those who are live and those watching the replay. Because as you imagine for them, they imagine for you. And we heal the collective together through our perception, through our imagination, through our energy, through our intention. And we bring our hearts back to God. And when we do that, the world becomes brighter. And whenever you feel ready, I want you to simply notice that your body now feels different, your heart feels different, the colors that you will see in a moment will feel different. Because when you do return in a moment, you will return to a new body, a new environment, a new line of time. When you do return to this moment, when you do open your eyes, you will be opening it in a new timeline, in the after, in the abundant timeline, having broken the code, living now with God in heart, love in heart, and surrender in your being. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes. It's 11:11, beautiful. Come back. And I do the meditation like this that we can return to. I will be like this entire webinar was live streamed on YouTube. So I'm not going to take off the replay from there. You can do it over and over again from there. And I do intend to create more meditations for YouTube specifically. So yeah, I'll for sure share those too. But this brings us to the end of our beautiful time together. It has been such an honor and such a privilege to share this moment with you, to be here. Um, I know that I did not get to a lot of questions. It was amaze balls. I feel like having cheese balls now. But love you too. Rock on. But you can email me. I love you guys so much. Where's the cake for 10? Man, wallahi lazim, I forgot. I literally forgot. Like I had it in my mind until yesterday, and then today happened, and I was like, period, was good. Um, okay, amazing. Thank you. I love you, and I will see you real soon. Bye bye.